just start with the basic things. What were your major challenges before we started working together?
In a word, I guess like just going to the gym. So I really like going to the gym. I like exercising. But it was really a case of consistency. And because I wasn't consistent with it, when I would go, I've got a bit of an ego when I lift, or I did. So I'd go super heavy and immediately injure myself and then not be able to work out again for like a month or something. And by that time, it was just kind of cycles. I would keep exercising consistently for not long, maybe a month or two. I would see improvements and then I just have like a busy week or something and I just fall off completely and would just not go to the gym until I was back where I started, except more prone to injury and weaker again. So that was the main challenge.
Mm, well said. Yeah. And what would you say, like the main goals that you came to me? What did you have in mind that you want to achieve? Like obviously that relates to the challenges that you have, but what would you say was like some specific thing that you want to sort it out?
I mean, I wanted to get bigger, as everyone does, but really, I wanted to be able to consistently implement training without injuring myself because I don't play sports anymore. So I wasn't getting that kind of active lifestyle. I've got a desk job now. So I just wanted to be doing something consistently that made me feel good, but also made me healthier.
Mm. And also make you more mobile and
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, well, that's the thing. So mobility was a secondary concern for me, but
yeah.
where as we started going through the program, mobility became something where I realized how important it was. Where before, like I said, I go to the gym, lift too heavy, injure myself, but that's because I didn't have that mobility there. But now I've implemented that into the training. It's
Mm.
so much easier where I can just, I mean, I enjoy mobility work now, which I never thought I'd be saying, but it feels so much better if you warm up and do like those active stretches and then warm down properly before you go to the gym and less likely to injure myself again. So it's all good.
That's great to hear. Yeah, it's also like changing just the perspective of how training should look like. It's a huge mindset shift, I would say. Not just like, you didn't just like follow the plan like and be like, okay, I'm just gonna do whatever you're gonna say. You actually changed like how you viewed like mobility and all this like
Oh, yeah,
stuff. I
absolutely.
remember you coming to me for the first time and you're like, oh, really? Like, I need to do that. And then, as you said, like after
Yeah.
a while, you actually got to the point when you're enjoying it. And that's a huge mental shift that you need to make, like some beliefs that are going on in your mind. So yeah, you already mentioned a few things, what have changed, but like, what would you say was the major change? How did I help you overcome all those challenges that you mentioned?
I mean, for me, it was really the lack of structure. And also, I really needed to be accountable to someone because I just wasn't accountable to myself. Like, I could easily excuse myself not going to the gym. So I really wanted a plan that I trusted because I mean, there's like thousands of plans on the internet, but when you're like the start of exercising again, you're never sure whether it's going to work or not. So it was having that plan which I could implement and I knew it would work for me because it was tailored to me and then having the accountability at the end of each week to say, right, I've done my sessions. There's someone at the other end of the line who's going to be saying, right, you could improve here, you could change that. But more importantly, somebody's just said, you did your sessions, you didn't do your sessions, what went right, what went wrong. So that was like the biggest change for me.
Yeah, having someone always that's checking in with you, right? If you're doing
Yeah,
things you're not doing, and if you're not doing, why you're not doing, right? Because if
yeah, big time.
just like let loose and we just one thing usually triggers it and then 1 week turns into month and you experience that on your own as well, right? So uh,
Yeah.
yeah, glad you brought that up. And what would you say regarding your own changes that you noticed since we started working together, and that can go to your body composition? You can talk about like also how did this help you in and outside the gym, all the things that you achieved.
It's a kind of a difficult one because ideally I'd just say, oh, I got leaner or I got stronger, but that's just stuff in the gym. And like that's true, I did, and that was good. But it's been more stuff out of the gym. Like there were moments where I would feel fragile. Like I don't know, I'd slip on water in the kitchen or something, and I'd feel like my back go. I just like I'm too young to be doing this. So when I started, this is why I talk about mobility as well, kind of implementing those changes and then also like building strength in the gym. I saw the body changes I wanted, but more importantly, I felt less like I was going to fall apart at the seams at 26.
Mm, mm. That's perfectly said. And that also relates then that you have more freedom, right? You're not afraid on picking up any other sport, for example, outside the
Exactly.
gym, like going for a football session or whatever. When friends calls,
Mm.
right? You're like, okay, my body is ready because now I have the capacity, mobility, strength, stability, endurance that I can do all sorts of things.
Which is what I've been doing now. We're going to summer now. If someone says like, "Do you want to, I don't know, go for a kickabout or something?" I'm not immediately fearful. Like, all right, well, I'm going to pull my hamstring. I'm going to fracture my spine. I'm going to dislocate my shoulder. I can just do those things now.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like how you really noticed like how this changed like everything outside the gym, and I also believe that that's the biggest motivation at the end of the day, right? Because you can only get to the certain level of leanness and like
Yeah, yeah.
muscle only to a certain extent, and put maybe like 5 kg more plates every month when you reach certain levels. But like when you
Mhm.
start seeing how things impacting you outside the gym, that's really a way how you can sustain for a long time. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. And what would you say like were regarding the online training and online coaching, what did you already mentioned like what did you like, but what would you say like was the what would you point out as like the main thing that was the most beneficial for you? If that wouldn't be like included, that it wouldn't have a value as it has.
For me, probably the check-ins.
Mm,
So I already know how to lift. I
mm,
know what good form looks like. I know when it feels wrong. But it was just having that weekly. I mean, so we're doing video calls by the end. It was having weekly video calls to be able to say, right, well, you should be doing it this way. Here's the changes you can make. Without that, it's quite difficult to see where you can increase your
mm,
lifts or benefit further. But having that kind of explained to me each week, I was adding weights to lifts that I might not have considered or changing the way I was doing certain exercises. So for me personally, just having that weekly update to say, here's how well you can progress, that was like huge benefit.
mm. You're also more safe then and more sure and certain that you can actually do some things, because you know that I've done it like with numerous other clients. So it's easier when you go to the gym, and if I tell you, okay, you can lift, I saw you like lifting already before, I know like your form and everything, you can do it, I know you can do it. It's more like reassuring, I would say, than if you like just on your own in the gym and you're like, should I put another 10 kg on the bar or am I
Yeah.
going to hurt myself?
And the difference as well was that because you can leave your own feedback on each workout, which you would read, I could be like, right, I was doing this squat movement. My knee felt a bit weird. It felt weird in this specific place. And I could have a call with you or have feedback with you saying, all right, you should probably be changing your lift this way and that might address it. You should be stretching this way. And I could implement that into the next week. And where I was getting pain before, I wasn't getting pain again.
Mm, yeah, I like that. I really like that you also mentioned that, yeah, because so many people just like they just look for, you know, the best training plan, but everything works well until shit happens, right? Until you actually get some
Yeah.
pains and aches, and then you really need. And I'm not saying that I know everything. I'm still like so many times when my clients get some pain, I need to look in my books or like look online and stuff. But at least I have like the basic understanding, and it definitely helps that I can like guide you then what to do or what not to do in these cases.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
Perfect. Like maybe just one last question, Tom. Would you recommend this coaching program? And if you would, maybe to who would you recommend it the most? Like who is like the target that you think like would benefit from this work the most, or from this
Yeah,
support?
I would recommend it. Yeah, I would recommend it. I saw a lot of benefit from it personally. In terms of target, I don't know. It feels quite wide ranging. So I've not been like a lot of your other clients where I came in with like a specific injury or mobility issues that I need a recovery from. I came in just looking for someone to kind of give me that structure. So you've been able to change it where for other people, their main goal might be to, I don't know, it could be just a goal to like be able to walk around normally without pain or just become pain free. But for me, I had the goal of like putting on strength and muscle. And while my goals have changed, I do feel like you tailor it so well that anyone could come in with absolutely any goal and you'll be able to work with them, figure out what those goals are, what motivates them, and then produce the correct program and help them through it. So I think the client base is pretty wide ranging. So I wouldn't say it's limited to a specific group with like injuries or whatever, but just if you want to exercise more, this is your guy kind of thing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's more this holistic approach that I want to